On a subway train, Peter witnesses a terrorist attack unfold. He spots a hooded man slip a backpack under a seat before slipping off the train. Sensing danger, Peter checks the bag and finds a timed bomb inside.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Do you know how to...
No.
Despite having no bomb defusal training, Peter stays calm. He pulls the emergency brake, halting the train, flashes his FBI badge, and orders passengers to evacuate.
There's a bomb!
Panic erupts as passengers flee. Peter grabs a trapped little girl and leaps off the train just before the bomb explodes. Thanks to his quick thinking, a potentially catastrophic attack results in only minor injuries. Catching his breath on the roadside while waiting for police, Peter suddenly spots the hooded bomber in the crowd. Ignoring his own injuries, he gives chase. In an alley, the bomber ambushes him. They fight fiercely, but Peter, already hurt, is knocked down. He manages to kick the attacker away, only for the man to flee. While pursuing, Peter is hit by a car and tumbles, letting the bomber escape. Despite losing his target, Peter's bravery catches the attention of Chief of Staff Farr, who invites him to join the Night Agent Team, a unit handling top-secret national security intelligence. But Farr's real assignment isn't fieldwork, it's about answering emergency calls from the White House basement. So, I'm a high-level dispatcher. That phone hardly ever rings. So I just sit at a desk all day. All night. Actually, the open shift is 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Though it's a low-ranking job in the White House basement, it offers future career options. Peter accepts, unaware he's stepping into a conspiracy to topple the government. For a year, the phone stays silent. Then, one night, it rings. Peter's eyes light up as he answers.
Yes, go ahead.
Night action. They told me to tell you that.
Code, please.
10 o'clock door fire.
Is this, Sidewinder or Gazelle?
What? I don't understand.
Peter tries to verify the code, but the caller, Rose, doesn't know the protocol. She's not an agent, but the niece of 2 veteran agents. That night, Rose is woken by noises downstairs. Her phone's dead despite being fully charged, and the house, which never loses power, is dark. Creeping down, she sees her uncle and aunt frantically burning documents, muttering that no one in the White House can be trusted. When Rose tries to approach, her aunt, usually frail, points a gun at him. Her uncle hands her a note, ordering her to flee down the mountain and call for help. Call this number, say, Night Agent Action, and read these words exactly. Tell them we need help. I don't understand what's happening. You don't need to, just go, now. What about you guys? You're fine. Confused but sensing the stakes, Rose bolts out the back door. Moments later, 2 assassins infiltrate the house. Her uncle is strangled, her aunt is pinned down and killed. Knowing their fate, her aunt shares a final glance with her husband. Rose hears the gunshots while running. Spotting an assassin removing his hood, she realizes he's seen her and gives chase. Rose reaches a neighbor's house, breaks a window to enter, and calls the number as instructed. Unfamiliar with night agent codes, she nearly loses Peter's trust. Please, don't hang up. My aunt is Emma Campbell. She and my uncle Henry are in danger. They told me to call you. After a moment's hesitation, Peter trusts her. He dispatches police to her location and guides her to hide. Slip upstairs, lock the bathroom door but don't stay there. Head to the farthest bedroom, use a mirror to watch for the assassin, and hide in a closet. The assassin storms in, fooled briefly by the locked bathroom. But he quickly breaks it down. Realizing the trick, he stalks the bedroom, closing in. Rose's heart pounds as she hides. Peter, desperate, calms her over the phone, praying the police arrive. Then, a flashlight beam cuts through the closet slats. Rose braces for a deadly fight.
Rose? It's okay, you're safe now.
The police arrive just in time. Rose exhales, noticing the assassin has fled through a window. Peter reports to his superiors and, per Farr's orders, heads to the scene to retrieve Rose. To avoid tracking, he takes her to his place first, locks her phone in a safe, sets up a hidden camera to monitor the room, and drives her to a safe house. Halfway there, Peter spots a tail. He tells Rose to duck, floors the gas, and weaves through traffic. The pursuers open fire, relentless. To escape, Peter spins the car around and rams the attackers head-on. Rose, hold on tight. The pursuer's car is totaled in the crash, letting Peter and Rose narrowly escape and reach the safe house. Peter stays on high alert, keeping watch by the window and monitoring his home's security camera. Sure enough, two masked assassins soon break in. He calls Far, but by the time agents arrive, the intruders are gone. Though they escape, Peter spots a clue in the camera footage. One assassin wears a distinctive ring. He screenshots it for later investigation. The next morning, Peter takes Rose to meet Far and FBI Deputy Director Hawkins at a secure location, haunted by her aunt and uncle's warning that no one in the White House can be trusted. Rose stays guarded, refusing to share anything despite intense questioning. This frustrates Hawkins, who's eager to crack the case. "You really don't know anything. That's odd. How do we know she's not working with them?" "Hawkins, that's out of line. Her aunt and uncle were murdered, and she's completely unscathed." "Enough." With no leads, they move Rose to a hotel's secure room, guarded 24/7 by agents. But the next morning, trouble strikes. Peter arrives for breakfast with Rose and senses something off. "Excuse me, where are the agents who were guarding this place?" "They were just here." Realizing danger, Peter races upstairs to Rose's room. The guards outside are gone, gun drawn. He cautiously enters.
Rose?
Thankfully, she's unharmed. With no time to explain, Peter rushes her out, but in the stairwell, they run into the assassin.
Come on, Rose!
They duck into the kitchen, but the assassin closes in fast. Peter fires back while pulling Rose into a utility room. Hiding won't work, the killer's at the door. "Stay here. When he comes in, shoot for the heart." "Rose, we're out of ammo." "Out of ammo?" "Yeah. What if he's out too?" "Doubt it. So what's your plan?" Without answering, Peter kicks out a window and climbs onto a glass roof. Spotting an escape route, he signals Rose to follow, but then Peter slips but recovers quickly, thanks to his strength. Seeing his near fall, Rose freezes in fear, refusing to jump despite his urging, but as the assassin bursts in, she has no choice. "I'll jump forward to spread my weight out." "Sounds good, go, now." Rose leaps, landing safely just as the assassin storms in. Spotting their escape through the window, he chases and opens fire. Luckily, Peter and Rose are far enough to avoid the bullets. To blend in, they stop at a clothing store. Suddenly, Rose recalls something and swipes a customer's phone. She realizes the pursuit isn't random. Despite leaving her phone behind, the assassin found her, and the guards were mysteriously removed. This confirms a mole in the White House. Rose demands Peter call Far to ask who pulled the hotel's guards. Far and the White House team are thrown off. After a quick investigation, they find the evacuation order came from Hawkins' office 30 minutes earlier. But Hawkins has vanished. Given his odd behavior, he's likely the mole. Far orders Peter to bring Rose back, citing the danger outside. But after two near-death escapes, neither trusts anyone at the White House. They decide to take matters into their own hands, returning to the crime scene to hunt for clues and uncover the mastermind. At her aunt and uncle's house, the FBI has already torn everything apart. Any useful evidence is likely gone. Peter urges Rose to recall her aunt and uncle's last words. "We left a driver in the forest." "A driver? Like a hard drive or something?" "A hard drive." Prompted by Peter, Rose remembers her aunt and uncle's cabin in the woods. They race there and find a hard drive hidden in a wall crack. Checking it, Rose discovers it's locked with advanced encryption. Even as a skilled hacker, she'd need the White House's supercomputer to crack it. But she notices a locked folder named 2781. Peter freezes. It's the number of the bombed train from last year. Could that attack connect to her aunt and uncle's murder? Sensing something off, Peter reports the find to Far. Hearing about the hard drive, Far grows tense and orders him to bring Rose and the drive to the White House immediately. She reveals Hawkins was found dead in the suburbs, a clear sign the masterminds are eliminating anyone tied to the case. "Peter, this is an order. Bring Rose and the drive back now." Rose doesn't buy it. She suspects Hawkins wasn't the mole but was killed for uncovering the real traitor. Returning the drive would be walking into a trap. To test Far, Peter calls her personal line, saying he'll return at 10 a.m. tomorrow. That night, he and Rose hide in the mountains, watching the cabin for anyone tracking them via phone. After a quiet night, they rule out Far as a suspect. But as they prepare to leave, a noise echoes from below.
I fell on the trail. I think I broke something.
People killed your aunt and uncle. Could one of them have been a woman?
As the woman nears the cabin, a man emerges behind her. Rose instantly recognizes him, the assassin who chased them. He smashes a window, tosses a flash grenade, while the female assassin shoots the lock and storms inside. Seeing the danger, Peter yanks Rose away. This proves Chief of Staff Farr can't be trusted. But after the hard-won drive, they're in a bind. Worse, Rose's aunt and uncle warned of a plot threatening national security, set to unfold in 5 days. With time running out, they have to take risks. What if we give Farr the drive? Peter delivers the drive to Farr's office but lies, saying Rose fled while he stopped for gas. Farr, unsuspecting, sets up a high-powered computer to crack the drive's encryption. For security, she locks the room, accessible only by her or the president's keycard, and tells Peter to rest. No, I should stay and man the phone. When Rose was at the hotel, she called the night agent line to reach me. If she comes around, she might call again. I could convince her to come in or trace her phone to find her. Farr approves, unaware this is Peter and Rose's plan. Meanwhile, Rose sits in a cafe with her laptop. As the drive's decryption nears completion, she calls the night agent line, demanding to speak with Farr. Peter lures Farr to the basement. While she's distracted on the phone, he swipes her keycard, sneaks into the decryption room, plugs in a wireless adapter, and sets up remote access to Rose's laptop. Just then, the drive unlocks. Rose keeps Farr occupied while downloading the data. Halfway through, she spots 2 cops entering the cafe. To avoid attention, she hangs up. Peter, getting her signal, slips back to his post. But as he's about to leave, he hears Farr outside. She forgot her keycard and returned to the basement. Peter darts through another route, stashing the keycard under some papers. Thinking he's in the clear, he's stunned when Farr returns to the computer room and finds the drive wiped clean. Rose, after downloading the data, remotely erased everything. Farr's suspicion spikes when she spots Peter's forgotten wireless adapter. Furious, she storms downstairs. The drive's empty, nothing's there. Could Rose's aunt and uncle have wiped it? Or you did it? What? I found this at the access port. Caught, Peter drops the act and confronts Farr about the morning's ambush. He only told her his location, so she must have leaked it. Farr's face pales. She hands her phone to a passing staffer, ordering a tech sweep for spyware, and reveals a bombshell. Rose's aunt and uncle were secretly tasked by the president to investigate last year's train bombing, suspecting an inside job at the White House. The traitor's identity is unknown, but spyware on Farr's phone proves the enemy's sophistication. Convinced by her candor, Peter trusts Farr again. He takes her to Rose, explaining the truth behind her aunt and uncle's murder. Rose remains wary, refusing to hand over the drive and insisting on investigating the bombing herself. Before they arrived, she found a clue in the drive's data, a faint watermark on an image. Enhancing it, she uncovered a tech company's address. With Farr's approval, Peter and Rose drive there. The address leads to a remote area, through dense forest, to an isolated house. Though skeptical, they knock. An elderly woman answers, pointing a gun until she learns Rose's identity. A former civil engineer, she supplied city planning blueprints to Rose's aunt and uncle, who took architectural drawings of a specific street. To dig deeper, Peter and Rose head to that street but find only shops and cafes, no obvious targets like government buildings. Other drive files show only power grid maps and gas pipeline layouts for the area. Why'd your aunt and uncle care about the grid and gas lines? To find weak points or potential attack targets. But is anything here worth hitting? No idea. As they puzzle, Peter notices the ground tremble and ripples in a sink's water. He asks a cafe worker, confirming a subway runs beneath. A bold theory hits him. About the train bombing. Look, the bomb went off here, but only because I stopped the train. What if the real target was somewhere else? Inspired, the old woman urges Rose to pull up the street's planning map. They spot a gas pipeline intersecting a subway tunnel. A bomb there could have leveled 2 city blocks. Digging further, Rose finds pre-explosion surveillance footage. A woman lingered in a cafe for 5 hours, staring outside and muttering. Peter realizes she's talking via a mic. More shocking, he knows her. Secret Service agent Ellington, a high-ranking official protecting government figures. Her presence suggests a VIP was nearby. That explosion wasn't terrorism, it was an assassination. To uncover the attack's target, Peter confronts Agent Ellington, hoping she'll reveal who was protected during the train bombing. After checking with her superiors, Ellington stays tight-lipped. When Peter mentions the code name Osprey, her eyes flicker with surprise, but she hangs up without a word. Rose overheard Osprey from her aunt and uncle, hinting a key figure might be targeted soon. With time running out, Peter and Rose split up to chase leads. Rose heads to the library, trying to ID the assassin via his ring. Peter visits Hawkins' widow and learns Hawkins was secretly investigating the train bombing for a year. He focused on Transform Lake Industries, a weapons contractor. The day he was killed, he met the company's CEO. Hawkins wasn't a mole, he was murdered for getting too close to the truth. He worked alone, distrusting everyone at the White House. Peter rushes back to the library to share with Rose. At the mention of Transform Lake Industries, Rose feels a chill through the rain. She traced its pattern to a deposed royal family. The family's prince, who wore an identical ring, vanished 2 years ago. The prime suspect, their assassin. More crucially, before disappearing, the prince publicly criticized a defense contractor. That contractor was Transform Lake Industries. Clearly, Transform Lake Industries orchestrated everything. Worse, the company funds Vice President Field. Photos show Field and the CEO, Wick, go way back. Signs point to Field as the White House mole. This bombshell leaves Peter and Rose reeling. It's a crisis. They stay up all night organizing evidence, planning to report to the president through FAR. But Peter, cautious, leaves Rose at his best friend's house and heads to the White House alone with the documents. Unbeknownst to them, the assassin tracks their every move. At the White House, Peter reveals Transform Lake Industries' bombing plot and Field's involvement. FAR is stunned and insists on seeing the president, but a slip gives her away. Tell your friend to bring Rose to the work area. Peter freezes. He never told FAR where Rose was, yet she knows she's at his friend's. FAR must be Field's accomplice. As she steps away, Peter warns Rose to flee and meet him at the docks. Meanwhile, FAR calls Wick, ordering him to eliminate Rose. Dropping her mask, she leads a team to seize Peter. But sensing danger, Peter bolts first. His keycard fails at the exit. As a colleague enters, Peter accidentally spills the man's files, swiping his keycard to escape. In the basement, agents spot him. He sprints to the equipment room as agents close in. Hiding in a vent, he avoids detection and overhears the emergency exit's passcode. Once clear, he enters the code, escaping through an underground tunnel. Meanwhile, Peter's friend drives Rose to the docks. But no matter how they dodge, the assassin finds them. Suspecting a tracker on the car, his friend drops Rose in an alley and keeps driving to lure the killer. The tracker shows the car paused briefly, tipping off the assassin. The male assassin splits off, sending the female to pursue the car while he chases Rose on foot. Rose reaches the docks but spots the assassin closing in. She runs, only to be cornered at the shore. Fighting back, she's overpowered as he chokes her. Peter arrives just in time, tackling the assassin. He lands a punch, grappling fiercely, but is pinned down. Rose smashes a club into the assassin's head, saving Peter. Enraged, the killer draws his gun, but Peter blocks him. Rose swings again, and together they disarm him. Peter, ever honest, wants to call the police. He killed my aunt and uncle, shoot him. Rose, we can't execute him, I won't. The assassin, thinking he's safe, taunts Rose about killing her family. Furious, she charges with the club but is knocked down. Peter fires, but the gun's empty. The assassin pulls a knife, lunging at Rose. Peter grabs him, choking him out for good. Safe for now, they hide on a yacht to regroup. But a shocking broadcast hits. That same night, Vice President Field's daughter, Maddie, was kidnapped. Field publicly names Peter as the prime suspect. FAR's plan was to frame Peter, silencing him from speaking to the media while mobilizing police for a nationwide manhunt. But her brazen moves only fuel Peter's resolve, determined to expose Vice President Field and FAR's crimes. He recalls the train bomber had a snake tattoo. Following this lead, he tracks down a suspect, Colin, who not only has the same tattoo but worked for Field's financial backer. Oddly, Colin died of a drug overdose at home shortly after the bombing, and FBI records on him are nearly non-existent. Someone's covering tracks, killing to silence and forging documents. Luckily, Peter learns Colin had a close relative who received his belongings in a storage unit. Peter and Rose investigate, but as they leave the yacht, they're spotted by Ellington and a black agent searching for Maddie. Despite Peter's pleas that FAR framed him, Ellington doesn't buy it. 2 days ago, he approached her as FAR's trusted operative on a secret mission. You and FAR had a falling out. Yeah, right after I learned she was behind the train bombing last year. Rose chimes in, saying info on the bomber is in her backpack. When Ellington and the agent see Rose's photo, their faces harden. While investigating Maddie's kidnapping, they found a suspect with an identical snake tattoo and a face like Colin's. Peter's stunned. Colin died a year ago. How could he be here? He goes by Matt now. We spoke to someone who saw him this week. He notices Colin's autopsy report lacks mention of a tattoo. Checking his birth date, they discover Colin had a twin brother. So they killed the wrong guy. The bomber's using his twin's identity. No clue, but we haven't checked one lead, a storage unit from the autopsy report. Though skeptical of Peter, Ellington and the agent, bound by duty to chase leads, visit Colin's rented unit. They find piles of documents on Maddie, proof he planned her kidnapping for months. Peter's cleared as a suspect. Ellington finally reveals the bombing's truth. She was at the cafe guarding Zada, leader of the People's Independence Front. To secure U.S. support for his country's presidential election, Zada met a U.S. official codenamed Osprey, Peter's target. The bombing's motive surfaces. Zada, a former terrorist-turned-politician, was seen by Field as a threat to U.S. security, especially with 50 nuclear warheads stored in Zada's country. If they fell into enemy hands, the consequences would be catastrophic. Field planned to assassinate Zada during the secret meeting, but Peter thwarted it, fearing exposure. Field enlisted Farr to erase evidence. But how does Maddie's kidnapping connect? As they ponder, Ellington gets a message from Maddie, a video pleading to her father, Colin, aka Matt, kidnapped her to avenge his twin's wrongful death, forcing Field to admit his bombing plot publicly. But Maddie, cleverly, sent the video to Ellington, her bodyguard and friend, instead of Field. In it, she touches her necklace, a private signal. Decoding it, they learn Maddie's in container R142. Problem is, 5 areas have containers with that number. Checking each would take too long. The black agent traces Colin's movements over 6 months. Finding he worked security for 3 companies, Peter narrows it down to 1 container. Ellington wants to report to superiors, but Peter stops her. They don't know how many traitors are in the White House. If word leaks, anyone tied to the bombing could be silenced. They decide to rescue Maddie themselves. At the warehouse, Colin spots them via cameras and moves the hostage. Maddie, seizing a moment in the dark, attacks him. Hearing gunfire, Peter and Ellington rush in. The black agent and Rose arrive too. Lacking combat skills, Rose stays in the car while he heads to the warehouse. Unbeknownst to them, a female assassin trails them. Maddie knocks Colin down but is caught. Fleeing, she's pulled to safety by Ellington. Peter charges, subduing Colin with 3 punches. Remember me? We met on the train. Give up your boss, clear my name. As they escort Colin to the police, the black agent senses trouble. Sniper. Colin tries to bolt but is shot dead by the female assassin. The only witness to clear Peter is gone. Devastated, Peter barely processes when a bullet hits Maddie's leg. Ellington calls for backup. The black agent covers them, urging retreat. But as he ducks, the female assassin shoots him. Peter returns fire, trying to drag him to safety. The assassin takes aim at Peter, but at the critical moment, Rose appears, shoving her off a ledge. A bold save. Rose grabs the assassin's gun and phone, joining Peter to flee as backup nears. Checking, they find the black agent dead. Ellington refuses to leave her partner. They're planning another attack. We've got less than a day. If we don't stop it, we'll either be caught or more people will die. I can't leave him. Maddie has a plan. If news of her rescue reaches the president, he'll meet to console her, giving her a chance to warn him about tomorrow's attack. But they need solid proof of Vice President Field and Farr's crimes. Maddie offers the female assassin's phone, hoping it holds evidence. They split up. Ellington escorts Maddie back, waiting to alert the president. Peter and Rose analyze the phone, finding night agent files, including records of Rose's murdered aunt and uncle. Peter recognizes them from the White House basement, time-stamped during his shift. No way that was my shift. He recalls taking sick leave for food poisoning that day. Farr likely used the chance to photograph the files, tying her to the murders. To nail her, they need basement access logs. They hack Farr's assistant's computer, confirming Farr used her keycard to enter the night agent room at that time. This is enough to expose her. Ellington calls, reporting the president's schedule shows a meeting with Zada at Camp David. Oddly, they're always together. How could Field kill Zada without hitting the president? Maddie pales, recalling her father mentioning a pardon tomorrow, a power only the president holds. Damn it, they're targeting both Zada and the president. Time's running out. They must warn the president, but as Ellington hangs up, Field walks in. Let's go, sweetheart. Where? Camp David. The president wants to see you in Ellington. They improvise, boarding a plane with Field. Maddie notices unfamiliar agents carrying a suspicious black box. At Camp David, Field claims the president wants privacy, locking Maddie in a safe room while Ellington is watched closely outside. the box vanishes, so Ellington uses a bathroom excuse to search. "Stay put, I won't be long." Meanwhile, Peter confronts Farr, claiming he knows the truth and demanding she call Field to cancel the plan. Hearing the president is a target, Farr seems rattled. "Stop acting. I'm serious, why would they kill the president?" Farr was duped. Field told her the plan was to hit Zada during a flight, but his real goal was to seize power. To stop him, Farr rushes Peter and Rose to Camp David. At the waiting area, the president's gone. Farr tries to alert the Secret Service chief, but the deputy director bursts in. Peter hears gunfire and rushes in, but the deputy director escapes out the back. They try radioing the president's guards, but the signal's jammed. Dying on the floor, Farr says a comm station is nearby. Racing there, they find an agent fixing equipment. Rose offers help. He steps aside but pulls a knife. As Peter struggles, Rose stabs the agent's leg with a dropped knife, neutralizing him. Rose restores the signal but overhears the traitor's channel. The assassination's begun. They split. Rose fixes the signal. Peter races to the bomb's location. The president and Zada enter the conference hall. The deputy director orders the timed bomb activated.
All set.
Ellington strangles an agent with her tie, knocks him out with a decorative tray, and searches the comms room, finding the bomb. With 3 minutes left as the president and Zada enter the hall, Rose restores the signal. Ellington radios a warning, and guards rush the president out. But she hears cries from upstairs. 3 minutes earlier, Maddie, in the safe room, disowned her father. Exiting, she found the door locked. With 30 seconds left, Ellington enters the code, pulling a limping Maddie to safety. Peter confronts the deputy director, tackling and punching him. But as he gains control, 2 soldiers appear. Peter abandons him, fleeing, thinking the danger's past. He learns via radio of a second bomb on the president's plane, set to detonate on takeoff. He sprints to the runway, shoots a rogue guard, and drags the president away. There's a bomb on the plane. If it takes off, it'll blow. Stop the engines first. I'm fine, Peter, what's your plan? As a wanted man, Peter's not trusted. Snipers take position. He dodges their aim, insisting on the bomb. The president, knowing Peter, orders a check. They find the bomb. An explosion rocks the plane's exterior. Field thinks he's won, but his power grab crumbles.
Wanna say hi?
For stopping the attack, Peter and Rose earn the president's praise. Peter is officially promoted to night agent. Here is the complete summary of the night agent. What do you think of the show? How would you rate it out of 10? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for your interest and support. Goodbye and see you again.